So essentially, I wanted you to give us first a brief background about yourself and what you've been doing in the past before we get into Benkiko.
Okay, first of all, it's an amazing opportunity to be a guest here because I love the great work you're doing. And a big shout out to your team. So
Thank you
about
very
me,
much.
about me. So
Yeah.
my name is Frank, and I'm the CEO at Benkiko. But in a crypto world, being CEO kind of make it centralized. Okay, we'll get into that later. So, Benkiko is basically a platform where we are trying to give Africans the opportunities and to bring closer home the opportunities cryptocurrencies give everyone across the world. Of course, it basically opens up everyone to be crypto. Basically, opens up everyone to be a creator of wealth and. We think that's an opportunity Africans have missed for so long. We are the ever spending continent. Whatever little you get, you spend it because you don't have so much to save or so much to invest. And crypto basically enables everyone with as little as $1 to be an investor. So those are the advantages we want to bring closer to our people with banking.
Yeah. So I think before we get into the Benkiko topic, because I know that is going to be pretty much the meat of the subject, it's going to be a very
Yeah.
long conversation. Uh, I'd like us to know first of all who is Frank and what is your background like? What have you worked on before? And what was sort of the inspiration for Benkiko? But pretty much your background first.
Oh, my background.
Yes.
So before Benkiko, I got into tech in early 2017, and it's a very interesting story because before that I hadn't thought of anything tech related in terms of my personal goals, my career goals, and all that. And so I'm a graduate. I'm a procurement and logistics graduate. So you see the far apart is from tech. And so I was interning at a place, and the process seemed quite of so repetitive. Basically, in procurement, you are ordering stuff and dispersing them to the organization's departments. They order again, you order to the supplier. So the process was kind of repetitive. Like, why can someone just try to like automate this whole thing? I don't have to every day wait for papers to be dropped at my desk so that they can be signed, sent out, brought in again, signed, sent out. You see. So we built Swiftify. That was basically my first ever project, and it was basically an e-tendering and e-sourcing website where we could basically automate procurement for organizations. One key thing that Swiftify also sought to fix was the whole issues of corruption in procurement. You see, with an automated system, basically you eliminate human input and interactions with the whole flow. Another thing was delayed payments for suppliers. So we wanted to automate that with an escrow system where the organization would put in money, then once the tender is completed, the money just moves. So now here was the interesting intersection. We tried to
Mhm.
find a good, favorable payment gateway
Mhm.
locally. Uh, the one that was available, of course, Safaricom, Daraja. Then we had a few others, but in terms of integration, Safaricom, Daraja was very difficult. It wasn't really well documented and so on. And we were also beginners. See, we have this big vision of streamlining procurement, but at the same time we are fighting the skill side of it to implement, and we are facing difficulties with the payment
Mm.
integration. So Safaricom wasn't really easy to integrate. The other, since they were built on top of Safaricom, you see when Safaricom charges its fee and this other third party also charges their fee, then you are left with so little margin, very
Mm-hmm.
small margin. So it didn't sound like a profitable thing to do at that time.
Yeah.
So it really challenged me, and uh, among the many ideas I had then, aside from that one, was to own a digital bank. So I was like, okay, how do I combine whatever difficulties I've faced in this and
Mm-hmm.
like direct my efforts to first building a digital bank, then I can revisit everything else I've ever thought of. You see, like I
Mm.
would simplify payments for me and for all my other friends who are going through the same struggle as developers and trying to come up with projects and great ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So
So and that now that gave birth to Benkiko 5 years later.
all
No,
right.
is it
Why did
five
it?
or three?
Yeah.
Three, yeah,
Uh,
three.
3 years. Yeah. So why did it take 3 years for you to do Benkiko? Was there some maybe knowledge gap in between your previous project and you launching Benkiko, or did you take some? Was it some sort of learning curve for you to even just understand crypto and get into it?
Now, interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
So around the same time,
Yeah.
um, of course, this time I'm in Nyeri, the Dankimadi University, and
Mm-hmm.
I had cleared campus deck 2020. No, as in deck 2016. So
Okay.
2017 is when I'm interning and doing all those apprenticeship. You see, so that's where
Mm-hmm.
I'm experiencing all this repetitive process. Right.
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
this time, I've also discovered now crypto and how what's Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can build stuff on it, trust
Mm-hmm.
systems through smart contract,
Mm-hmm.
logistics. You see all those stuff. So I'm excited. I
Yeah.
go to a pitch session at the at the university's. Well, this is a story I've never told before. So I go to
Okay.
the universities. You see, I've already graduated, right? But
Yeah.
I'm around the university, so oftentimes I'll get across information that this and this event going down. Would you come? So I'm like, okay, I have an idea, and the
Mm-hmm.
University Innovation Center is hosting a hackathon. You see,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but because I'm not a current student, so
Mm.
most of my friends, of course, are outside school. We've already graduated. So I go and meet some guys and I tell them. So yeah, Cheki, as in, I have this great idea, and it's basically to be deployed on the blockchain. And they're
Yeah.
like, "What's a blockchain?" Hey, no, that's my first hurdle for the day. Now
Yeah.
I explain what a blockchain is. And then I go deeper into Ethereum. So all these people are confused. So I try to relate it to relate it with Bitcoin so they would like make sense of whatever I'm saying. So that
Yeah.
didn't go well. I also got a chance to pitch at NILAB, but it also didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, from there, I decided, you know what, I'm never doing these pitch sessions again. So I went back to Nyeri. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Another reason SwiftFi really didn't work was because, of course, we didn't have the funds to like approach organizations. You see those movements from this organization to that one, and
Mm.
marketing and all that. Though we tried, we bootstrapped and all that.
Yeah.
So I took a break from it. I started doing other things, which were very influential in my journey because it's part of what Benkiko is right now. So
Mm.
I started doing gigs online, social media influencing,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. You see, my other friends started doing design online. Others became developers online.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so until today,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you see the goal of wanting to develop for for other ideas and for other developers to like make it easier for them to receive payments on their platforms. And me being a gig worker and my friends all being gig workers has shaped what Benkiko has become to be, like a digital bank for the
Mm-hmm.
digital economy. Like we want to make it easier for platforms for other people who earn like us to make it a bit more constant and
Mm-hmm.
like a comfortable way to make a living.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned NILAB. I also happen to have gone through NILAB for a year.
Yeah.
Sometime after, in fact, just after I'd finished campus, and
Mm-hmm.
well, I think it was a good learning experience. But of course, our projects never took off. But
Yeah.
we were able to be brought into that environment where you learn business, understand how
Yes.
to network, how to set up your company into different
Uh-huh.
departments, how you can even bring other people into the team. Well, of course, I think even to date, some of the challenges is still fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and of course, when you're in that environment, most of what you're doing is just experimenting, because we went in with one project, but we ended up pivoting into like four different businesses or ideas,
Mm-hmm.
innovations. But then by the time you're leaving that place, we pretty much had our footing, and particularly in tech, and I think that really helped me personally also shape
Yeah.
my journey into business, and particularly in tech. So that's a pretty interesting experience to me as well.
I used to leave Nyeri at 5 a.m. so that I can get to Naila for for peak
Oh,
sessions.
yeah, you are very determined. We would stay there for even 48 hours nonstop. So we'd work day and night. Would There used to be Uchumi supermarkets just opposite. So we'd go there in the
Yeah, yeah.
evening and grab some snacks and something to eat while we work, coffee and all that all night. And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe at around 4 a.m. we catch a quick sleep, quick nap. By 6, 7, or 8, when it's opening, we're up again. We continue. Yeah, so that
Mm-hmm.
was a pretty interesting experience. But I wouldn't say that all that was in vain, really, despite the fact
Mm-hmm.
that the projects never took off.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much just a learning experience. Yeah, and it
For
was really
sure.
a big struggle, because you're trying to commit all your time to do this
Mm-hmm.
project on the and permanently, right? But then you also
Yeah.
need to find something on the side to make rent. you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a crazy experience.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
so tell me.
mhm.
Yes. Yes.
That was the birth of Benkiko from fa- okay, of course I had a lot of ideas. Let me be honest with you. So
Uh-huh.
first solving the payment, the whole payment struggle and the whole payment. Like you see, all of them of course needed payment. The whole
Mm.
backbone was payment.
Yeah.
And already having a digital bank idea at the back of my head, I was like, why
Mhm.
not first attack this, and then
Uh-huh.
I'll come back to the rest of the others. See. And of course, we've deployed Benkiko, and
Mhm.
we'll get into that now.
Yeah. Sure. In fact, before we go into Benkiko, I wanted to find out, why did you get into crypto? What made you get into crypto?
uh, let me tell you one funny thing.
Yeah.
I'm always very obsessed about my childhood dreams, like
Mm-hmm.
all those things that all those things that you questioned honestly, like you didn't have any rough idea of how they worked, but you always
Mm.
wondered, how did this work, how does that work? And I
Yeah.
remember one question I had was often, okay, my
Mm-hmm.
mom is a civil servant,
Mm-hmm.
and so I used to wonder, how does the government pay her and at the same time it taxes her? I was like, okay. If you
Yeah.
pay all the people at the end of the month, then
Yeah.
you collect tax to pay them again. then you won't actually be able to fulfill all their salaries, you see, because you've collected lesser than. So that question really didn't make sense back then. And I also used to I used to ask myself, how comes we are this poor, like with this much potential? And another good thing is I have a very photographic memory, so I can actually every time I recall those things, I can recall the specific place that happened. So now understanding Bitcoin and the whole money and monetary system rabbit hole, now things started making sense. Why does my mom get taxed? Why are we poor and others? You see, all those questions started getting answered. And the whole thing that crypto basically levels the playing field. It doesn't make everything equal. It makes everything fair for every one of us. Now, as more and more of those questions were being answered, of course, I developed a deeper and deeper understanding and a deeper and deeper conviction that it's something that can save us. I actually came across a message I sent someone. You see this crypto wallet Coinomi. You've seen Coinomi.
Yes.
And in 2018, when now all this was starting to make sense, I remember wanting to develop a crypto wallet, and I DM'd someone on Reddit to at the Coinomi offices, and I told them, "Can you please assist me with your source code? I promise you, I'm just using it for trial purposes, but there's something I want to experiment with." Okay, of course they never got back, but I'll keep that message for my autobiography someday. So there's that conviction that it can help us. Of course, also we are in the information age, so value is moving online. So why not have digital fast currencies, digital fast payment, financial infrastructure, digital fast financial rails? You see.
Yeah, that's true. Because they usually say that a lot of people have gotten online, but then money is still not online. So I think that essentially covers part of the reason why crypto is very important for now and also for the coming years. So yeah, essentially yeah. So tell me about Benkiko. What is Benkiko Finance?
What is Benkiko Finance?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like Benkiko does so much. You're even struggling to describe it in a in a one-liner.
True, and that's a difficulty. That's a struggle I've faced before, and it combines a lot. So I'll get to the uh, uh, the low hanging fruits of Benkiko, and I'll get also to the deeper meaning of Benkiko. In short, like simple statement. So first of all, the low hanging fruit is that Benkiko is a crypto powered digital bank uh, that looks to facilitate faster, cheaper, and borderless transactions. Pardon, faster, cheaper, and borderless transactions for the African digital natives, the people who are coming online across Africa, the freelancers, the online shops, the content creators. We have a lot of amazing content. You could tour where Victoria Falls, create content and get it for it. You could tour Nigeria and experience the culture and get paid for it. I could sell a product from here to Tunisia or from here to Ghana instantly. You see, so
Mm-hmm.
these are the digital natives. These are the people with the mobile phones on their hand every other minute. These are the
Yeah.
people who don't have time to go to a bank account, to go to a bank branch to create an account, but they could get a
Mm.
bank account instantly on their phone. That's what
Yeah.
Benkiko is on the
Mm-hmm.
surface, powering
Mm-hmm.
faster, cheaper cross-border transactions.
Okay.
Yeah. On the
That's interesting.
inside,
Uh-huh.
now this is where it gets interesting. On the inside, Benkiko aims to give the African person the advantages crypto has over fiat currencies. And this
Mm.
includes the ability to co-own a business through digital tokens, the
Mm-hmm.
ability to participate in global trade using Bitcoin, the
Mm-hmm.
ability to create DAOs for their communities, the ability for startups to issue their own digital. You see,
Yeah.
so in short, uh, the advantages and the way crypto basically levels the playing field. This one
Mm.
we want to make it easier for the African person to use it on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Seems like you have a very huge target audience. Um, so so far, what has been uh, no, sorry. I mean, how exactly does Benkiko work? For example, let's assume I'm a writer, um,
Uh-huh.
and I do writing for my international clients in maybe
Mm-hmm.
Europe or the US or Asia,
Uh-huh.
and I'm based in Africa. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I need them to pay me, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's always been a lot of complaints about these legacy institutions like PayPal that if I get paid my money in PayPal, I might not
Yeah.
even be guaranteed that I'm going to receive that money instantly. What is it that Benkiko does that would assist me to be able to be assured that my payment will eventually, well, essentially reflect when I need it to?
How we do that is that we are basically using a stable coin on the platform for payments.
Mm-hmm.
See, a stable coin, of course, can carry value across border without fluctuating in value.
Yeah.
And so, and the stablecoin is basically based on the US dollar, and
Mm-hmm.
this because uh, every other currency across the globe can reflect value in USD easily. Like
Yeah.
without going a few steps to converting it, you just convert it directly. It's the global reserve currency. So
Mm-hmm.
so if someone in Thailand is your client and they deposit to Benkiko, then they can send you money directly to Kenya in the split of a second. We recently did a trial transaction to the US with a friend, and it took
Mm-hmm.
about 5 seconds.
Ah, that's interesting.
You see?
Yeah.
So if you are a writer, all you have to do is go to Benkiko, generate a payment request link. Let's say your gig
Mhm.
was 1500 US dollars. The link, basically, as soon as you share that link as a message to your client, they
Mhm.
click on the link, they pay you instantly. So this is the
Okay.
same we are trying to offer to online shops. It's the same we are
Mhm.
trying to offer to content creators. You see, there are
Yeah.
brands across the world that would love to access the Kenyan market. They'll see you have 100,000 followers, you have good views from your content. They'll tell you, okay, do a shoot for us. We'll pay you what 10,000. We'll pay you 50,000. You just send them a link and they pay you. It's like uh, a quick invoice
Yeah.
anywhere in the world.
Okay. Do you KYC your users?
Do we KYC our users?
Yeah. KYC is a very thorny issue when it comes to
Yeah,
financial platforms, especially now, right?
yeah, true. So do we KYC our users? First of all, Benkiko is P2P powered, and P2P powered means money comes onto the system through other existing platforms like M-Pesa, banks, and Visa, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, of course, we KYC for numbers and emails,
Mm-hmm.
but not the real in-depth KYC. One belief is that these people are peer-to-peer depositors and withdrawers. So it's a
Mm.
in a peer-to-peer system, it's a willing to do a willing. You see, the case of a
Yeah.
willing buyer, willing seller.
So
That's why
basically,
most
yeah,
P2P
willing
systems are
parties.
successful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's one. The second one is that, of course, for this money to get to M-Pesa and banks, of course, it has been KYC'd through those platforms.
Mm.
And three is that we aim to be a fully decentralized, non-custodial digital bank in the next 6 to 7 months. So
Mm-hmm.
we've opted to work with the other two options that it's P2P and this money has already gotten through the system already to
Yeah.
like give us a leeway before the 7 months, and we can tell people now this is a fully decentralized non-custodial system. You have the
Mm-hmm.
keys to your wallet. That's that. You see, now there is no point of KYCing people in a decentralized system.
Yeah. However, one of the reasons KYC is usually done is to ensure that, funds
Mm-hmm.
going across borders is not meant for, terrorism financing or money laundering or, human trafficking and that sort of thing. Do you think that is a risk you're putting yourself into, considering that you don't do an in-depth KYC of the transactions that are
KYC.
passing through the platform?
Yeah, that's a concern, and it's of course nothing we would want on our system. We want to build to enable people to access digital jobs and have real jobs, not go to participate in terror activities or do money laundering and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a concern. We'll do our best. Of course, we want to stand firm with the basic tenets of crypto for privacy and all that. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, we wouldn't want to rub the government the wrong way. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
try balance and see how far deep we can get into KYCing people. Maybe a few identifiers here and there. That's that. But
Mm.
for it to take off, of course, we have to work alongside the government line.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any significant or outstanding partnerships that you have already secured or you're pursuing at the moment?
Yeah. Interesting, because I've been thinking about it today. Okay, of
Yeah.
course, it's along the lines of regulation and KYC and AML,
Mm-hmm.
anti-money laundering. So
Mm-hmm.
we are finding it difficult to like maybe get partners in terms of advisory, in terms of funding, and so on. And it's because all of them want you to answer the one basic question: how are the
Mm.
regulations? Of
Yeah.
course, you'll tell them in Kenya we don't have specific regulations catering for
Mm-hmm.
crypto and for an innovation like ours, which is a bit ahead of time. You see,
Yeah.
so one of the partnerships we are looking to initiate as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Cop Bank has been voted uh, most digital friendly bank for a few years now,
Mm-hmm.
and them being a bank and them being a cooperatives bank. Okay, I
Yeah.
hope that means what I think it means.
Yes, it does.
They look like a good option for partnerships. We can ride along their banking license and they can support us, and we can support them in their digital services
Mm,
efforts.
mm,
I say it about cooperatives because, of course, crypto pools communities together and people with common interest, and that
mhm.
sounds like cooperatives. So
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah,
actually very true.
yeah,
Yeah, and they also have a very huge network, so
yeah,
that
true.
would be a very interesting partnership to pursue.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyone in the audience who has contacts at Cop Bank, tell them I want to speak to them.
Sure, definitely. I'm going to make sure that this message gets to them
Mm.
as well. Right. Yeah. So, what are your future plans for Benkiko? How do you see it growing or expanding in the long term?
How do we see it growing?
Mm.
Uh, into a DAO, and
Ah,
it will grow into a DAO because of two things.
mm-hmm,
First of all, is because Benkiko is not just the app. Benkiko is an idea. It leans more to the Chicago School of Economics. I would
yeah.
say that they
Yeah.
propose the money supply theory,
Mm-hmm,
where with more tokens, and of course I talked about cooperatives, with more tokens and with communities being able to cap the supply of their money into, you see how Bitcoin is 21 million, Ethereum are
mm,
working on the same, and other systems. It's
yeah.
because uh, that school of economics believes an economy can thrive better if
Mm-hmm,
there is no excess supply of money.
yeah.
And again, crypto as a whole promotes decentralization. You see, so Benkiko is an idea. So
Mm,
as an idea, it's better positioned to be a DAO than a thing we can play around here and there and have it all over the place. You see, so we
mm-hmm,
want to give it to the community, have a governance token, let people now govern it forward from that. That's as an idea. Now, as a
mm,
platform for the digital economy, uh, we are launching our APIs and SDKs soon.
mm-hmm,
We'll also have something like Play Store called Benkiko Store, where all the apps powered by Benkiko can be found. So you
mm-hmm,
could have your food delivery service powered by Benkiko, where people, of course, shop and pay with Benkiko. We have gig working platforms. We have microblogging platforms where creators get
mm-hmm.
paid. Other
Yeah.
developers could develop now whatever they want. So that's as a platform.
Okay.
So uh, we look to have some activities going on with the developer community and the startup community so that
Mm.
we can start realizing the utility advantages of Benkiko.
Yeah, that seems like a very interesting approach. Uh,
Yeah,
However, you realize DAOs, the concept, the concept of the DAO is still very new,
yeah, true.
and people are still just experimenting with it. And
Hmm.
maybe considering that the also some very, I'd say, high tech ideas that have or innovations that have come out of blockchain, some of which are no
Hmm.
longer being utilized, like the ICO concept. Uh,
Hmm.
do you think DAOs are the essential future of organizations, or do you foresee a point whereby the concept becomes very difficult to manage or to even organize, especially when it comes to governance, that it's shunned for maybe just conventional organizational structures?
Hmm. DAOs are the future of governance. DAOs governance in terms of countries, and
Hmm.
also in terms of corporations. And this
Hmm.
is how there's somewhere I read, and the blog was saying, right now
Hmm.
there are as many economies in the world as there are countries.
Mm-hmm.
and it's because we count each country as an economy: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and so on.
Yeah.
But in future with crypto,
Mm-hmm.
and of course these are economies because again they have their own currency and can measure the value of this currency and rank it among the others. You see.
Mm.
But in future with crypto, we'll have
Mm-hmm.
over a billion economies and we'll have the possibility to create a million more each second. And this is why
Okay.
if
Yeah.
5 of us decided to come together and launch our own token, give it utility, have whatever basic tokenomics it will need,
Mm-hmm.
then now that becomes an economy. If people from
Okay.
a similar church decided to create their own token, that becomes another economy. You see,
Yeah.
but how will all this be governed in a society where people don't meet often, people meet over Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and so on? They'll be
Mm.
governed by digital governance, which is voting through the tokens, voting through how much shares you have in a securities token, through
Mm-hmm.
how much you see. So
Yeah.
true, DAOs are the future of corporations. DAO are the future of organizations, and they'll
Mm.
challenge the whole organizational structure that we know today.
Great. I'm also really looking forward to that future because
Yeah,
I think a lot of the systems that we are currently utilizing, the centralized entities or the centralized systems, they're really, really broken.
yeah.
And I honestly believe that decentralization, DAOs, and
Mm-hmm.
essentially the blockchain is going to come in and change a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, great. So finally, what would you want to urge your potential clientele for Benkiko to do?
What I would urge them to do, if you're in the creator, if you are a content creator, if you are a freelancer, if you are on online shop,
Mm-hmm.
all you basically have a phone. Right now, you have the potential to create a bank account right on your phone. A digital
Mm.
first bank, that is not a bank that will tell you since you've lost your password, head over
Mm-hmm.
to the nearest branch for us to reset it for you. Since your
Mm.
account has an issue, go to the nearest. You see,
Yeah.
most of these people, you realize if they are working online, you need to get paid, and then you're facing all these struggles with PayPal and banks. So we are giving you a better option, a cross-border option, a very cheaper
Mm-hmm.
option, and more install later, as we've spoken on the conversation. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, go try it out. It's very easy and convenient for online payments. Mostly all you'll need is the request link for you to get paid online anywhere. If you are a blogger, you just put the link uh, on your blog with a call to action. Maybe if you like my content, you can tip, appreciate my content. If you are a podcaster, the same. If you are a YouTuber, you see, if you're an
Mm.
online shop, once you post your items, you share the payment link alongside the social media content. So we are trying to make it easier for you to get paid as a digitally enabled job, as someone who earns from an online platform. So go try
Mm.
it out. The rest of the systems are coming in later.
That's great. So where would the listeners find you and also learn more about Benkiko?
So the website is benkiko.africa. Benkiko.africa. You'll find all the information you need there. You can find me on Twitter, Franje. Benkiko Wallet on Twitter for Benkiko, Benkiko Finance on Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah, connect with us. We are very social. We want to grow a community around us that, of course, will empower our services and give them utility.
Great. Thank you very much for that information. I am going to make sure that I share this to my networks as well, and then we see
Yeah.
where Benkiko goes. Thank you. Really appreciate your participation. Should catch up soon then.
We'll see you soon.
Right. And I wish you the very best with Benkiko. I'm actually going to
Ah,
now try it out myself, and then I'm
yes,
going to
yes.
send in my reviews on Twitter.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Have a good one.